All right, fans, our next segment, we're going to cover the much anticipated World Boxing Super 6 tournament with a collective purse of $50 million. And I find it strange this because it was kind of like a game show. Like I saw it online that when they were doing they were picking their opponents like it was on some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like dun dun dun. I pick Marco Hunt, dun dun, and then he like, oh, thank you. Like he was like, dude, everyone's gonna get picked. It's just a matter of it's like musical chairs. Who's gonna dance with who? It's not like at the end there was gonna be this odd man out that didn't get anyone. Just gonna go home. But as it stands for the cruiserweights tournament, the number one seed Alexander Usyk will fight Marco Huck. Usyk is 12-0. Marco Huck 40-4 losses. Second seed is Murat Gassiev with 24 wins, no losses, versus Krzysztof Volzerzik with 53 wins, 3 losses. Third seed is Maris Bradis with 22 wins, no losses, versus Mike Perez, 22-2. And last and fourth seed for the cruiserweights is going to be Junior Dorticos, 21-0, versus Dmitry Kudryashov with 21 wins and 1 loss. So out of all these opponents here, my favorite out of all is obviously the number one seed. Usyk, for me, hands down, is the best fighter out of this list. He always fights with Lomachenko, and for what I've seen.
You don't fight with him. You train with him.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. They're on the same card, kind of like what Triple G and Chocolatico had going on. But he always fights like on his undercards, and I saw him fight I know we covered this. Thabishu, the guy from Africa, shorter than him. I mean, I felt that he wore him down. I see him winning the whole thing. I see him taking the whole tournament. What do you think?
This is a really good tournament for a cruiserweight, because me, personally, as a boxing fan, I never put much attention to cruiserweight. Gassiev, right now is one of the top ranked guy. I think that the Cuban kid, Junieri, Dorticos, he probably gonna show off there too and put his style. Cuban style is really it's a really favorite style to pick, because they are really interested boxers to watch. But I can't disagree. I think Gassiev is gonna probably edge it. At this point, we can't really tell.
And it's single elimination too.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean,
so the rules, just for those of you who don't know, is pretty much single elimination, and to win the tournament, you have to win 3 fights. So out of all of them, let's say they all advance to the 4 rounds. There's 4 opponents left, and out of those 4 opponents, they each fight 2 opponents as the second seed. That the second seed is going to have 4 opponents left, and then the final is going to have just 2. So the guy that wins 3 fights is the guy that wins the tournament. So you were saying?
Yeah. So I think Usyk, Gassiev, and Dorticos,
they're going to advance.
They're going to be like the three eliminators.
So just to ask you, out of Usyk and Marco Huck, who do you have?
I'll pick Usyk.
And Gassiev versus Krzysztof.
I'll pick Gassiev.
I apologize. And then Maris Bradis versus Mike Perez.
Oh, that's a really tough.
Mike Perez, man. Yeah,
that's a 50-50 fight. Mike Perez, it's tough. It's a tough guy. So that one, man, it's really hard to pick. But I'll go with Morris, or whatever his name is. And
Bradis, yeah.
Bradis.
And I'll go with Junior Dorticos.
So from that first tier, I think they all gonna advance, and probably who fight who. If Usyk fight Junieri, that's gonna be a freaking high level technical fight.
Chess match, yeah.
Chess match. And I think probably Usyk will get it due to being the bigger name, maybe.
He's a big guy too, physically big. For a cruiserweight, he's really tall. Yeah. I think he's like 6'3" or something. He's a pretty tall guy. So hopefully we'll see how it plays out. And like I said, they're gonna hold the first fights, I think, in September and October now, and then the next fights I think will be in January or something. Mm-hmm. So that'll be the first round. I think May is the final fight. Like by May of 2018, they'll crown the winner of the whole tournament. So that's about it. So let's move on to the super middleweight tournament. Super middleweight tournament is going to be from first seed to fourth seed is going to be George Groves versus Jamie Cox, which is odd. He's like, I read online, he was like, oh, I'm going to fight him because he's my friend. Like, dude, it's like, what the hell? Like, what kind of competitive shit is this? Like, that's like me, like, yo, I'm going to fight you, bro. It's like, I got your back. It's like, are we just like, is this like, what's the word I have for that shit? Is it like what do you call that shit when you hire like a family member, nepotism and shit, or like friends? It's like, yo, I'm gonna put you on. You get this fight. You gotta take the L, and then we'll all get paid. It's like just the way he said it. Like he's his countryman. It's like, yo, what the fuck? It's like,
yeah, I'm gonna get the easy win to move on, and then we gotta
thanks, brother. You're gonna have to sacrifice you for this shit. Like
taking one for the family.
Yeah. Caleb Smith, notably, obviously Liam Smith's brother, second seed, 22-0 versus Eric Skoglund. 26-0, two undefeated fighters. Third seed is Chris Eubanks Jr., 24-1-0. This one's Chris Eubanks is set to fight Arthur Abraham this weekend, who's 46-5, and the winner of that is going to fight Turkish fighter Avni Yildirim, who is 16-0. So pretty much out of that, I don't know who would win. I have Chris Eubanks Jr. beating Arthur Abraham and obviously advancing to the next one. And then Jürgen Brammer versus Rob Grant. Rob Grant, I never heard of this guy. I don't know who he is, but that's the fourth seed. So how do you see this playing out? Who do you see advancing to the next seed?
I mean, we know already George Grove is gonna.
he's a veteran in there, bro.
He's gonna move on, and
I think Caleb Smith, he doesn't look like an easy fight.
I think
and Chris Eubank,
Grove, Caleb, and Chris are probably gonna be on the final. I don't know about those the last two guys that you mentioned. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. This Rob Grant, the bomber guy. I mean, I've heard of him, but I haven't really like studied his fighting style. But I obviously, like I say with you, George Groves, Caleb Smith, and Chris Eubank, for sure I see him advancing, and I don't know which of those would win, but it'll be freaky if George Groves wins, edges it out for his, because he's obviously out of all those fighters, he's the oldest fighter out of the whole list. So
he's the more veteran. I think he's a more sound boxer as well. I think he's a more complete boxer. He just,
Yeah, because, I mean, he's fought Carl Froch, like, what is it, like 100 times already? I don't know how many times they're going to pay these guys, but whatever. But
he beat DeGale.
Yeah, level of opposition, I would say, is a lot higher for George Groves. So
yeah,
as
he
far
got
as
the better resume, I think.
Yeah, as far as tough situations, I think the only thing that's going to play out is age and reflexes. So that's how I see that playing out. Let us know what you think.
I'd be surprised if Chris Eubank Jr. won.
Those guys talk so much shit, him and his father, but whatever.